What kind of doctor you are?
So I'm a minimally invasive gynecologic surgeon. So that means that I treat surgical conditions like endometriosis and fibroids using small incisions. The goal of that is to speed up recovery time, oftentimes get people home the same day as their surgery, and reduce the risk of complications and postoperative pain.
And right now, these days, it's very hard woman be pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges with fertility currently. One of them is just that people are getting pregnant later because they're focusing on their education and their careers. Part of the problem also has to do with how the inflammation in our lives through processed foods and microplastics in our water appears to worsen conditions like endometriosis and fibroids, which both can create fertility problems for women. And quite a bit of research has demonstrated that when people reduce inflammation in their bodies, either by minimizing consuming processed foods that can be inflammatory, but also by adding anti inflammatory things like omega 3 fatty acids, which you can get through salmon, green tea extract, or just drinking a lot of green tea, or by vitamin D supplementation. All of these can reduce the growth and the impact of endometriosis and fibroids, even without medical treatment or surgery.
What kind of diet is very good?
Yeah, so common sources of inflammation in the, I'll say, North American diet. I'm from the United States, but often relies on processed food, processed sugar, alcohol. Certainly, there's a lot of folks that are vaping and using nicotine, which has very inflammatory effects. So, a vegetarian diet can be beneficial, but it's not always quite that simple. Eating meat is not inherently a problem, but burnt meat can be a very common source of inflammation. And it's been demonstrated in a lot of research that eating a lot of burnt meat, for instance, increases the risk of colon cancer. So, a diet that is rich in plants, especially one that's well balanced, and often includes things like fish in order to add those anti inflammatory healthy fats, can be very beneficial, moving away from processed foods, processed meats, and burnt or overcooked foods and meats.